A very warm welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. And this is Smart 24 TV, where we drive your business. My name is Anthony, and I'm your host. Now, tonight we have a lot in stock for you. First of all, the Bitcoin is going crazy on the cryptocurrency market as it's hitting 70,000 US dollars. We're also going to be looking at the US market as they opened very slow on Monday, as we have seen right now on the current statistics coming in from the New York Stock Exchanges. And then we will be looking at Bamburi Cement shareholders who are eyeing a very huge dividend from the company following the successful sell-off of their stake in Hima Cement, Uganda. But first, let's have a look at one of the major stock exchanges here in the country, and that is none other than the Uganda Stock Exchange, trading as per the very first day of trade. Now, the Uganda Stock Exchange today, at least, has had a couple of stocks that really came in to do their trading. And when you look at the numbers here, we have at least 5 of the 19 listed equities that did participate in trade. And amongst these 5, the day ended with 6 gainers and at least 2 losers on the market. Centum Investments led the gainers with at least a 2.12% appreciation in price, up to at least 245.66 Ugandan shillings. Whereas Kenya Airways also followed suit with 1.43% appreciation in price, up to 106.44 Ugandan shillings. On the other side, Equity Bank Limited as well appreciated at least by 1.42%, up to 1,112 Ugandan shillings. MTN Uganda as well came in at 0.58% appreciation, adding at least 99 cents to the shareholders' value, closing in at 170.99 Ugandan shillings. The Nation Media Group company as well at least appreciated 0.43%, up to 561.36 Ugandan shillings. East African Breweries Limited added 0.23% of their value to their shareholders, closing in at 2,917 shillings. Now, currently, East African Breweries Limited at 2,900 shillings represents about 13.4% of the entire equity market on the Uganda Stock Exchange. The company has a total market capitalization of at least 2.31 trillion Ugandan shillings. And the East African Breweries Limited is now currently the 3rd most valuable stock on the Uganda Stock Exchange. Most of these cross listings are coming in with gains recently due to the stabilization of the Kenyan currency, but also the economic environment in Kenya has been stabilizing in the most recent past. When you look at the shares outstanding, over 791 million shares have been listed on the exchange with a market capitalization of 2.31 trillion Ugandan shillings. That's it from our East African Breweries Limited. But let's have a look at MTN Uganda as well, which was the only domestic listing that gained value on Monday. MTN Group currently is the 2nd most valuable stock on the Uganda Stock Exchange. And currently, when you look at their market value, they are representing about 22.2% of the entire equity market on the Uganda Stock Exchange. That means that they are in the 2nd position with a total market capitalization of at least over 3.83 trillion Ugandan shillings. Now, MTN Uganda has also gained at least about 0.99 shillings in the past 24 hours. And during the trading that happened today, at least over 3.69 million shares were traded at over 631 million Ugandan shillings. A very huge movement there for the company. The company now has seen some green figures on the 1-week performance, with a 1-week gain of 0.68% and a 4-week gain of 0.59% and a 3-month gain of 0.05%, whereas it has had a 6-month gain of at least 0.58% appreciation in price. Now, MTN closed its last day of trading with 170.99 Ugandan shillings at the moment. And we shared last week with you that MTN Uganda released their 2023 financial results or statements, at least for the fourth quarter. And just to give you the highlights of a few of these, if I could find them right here, we had a couple of highlights here coming in from MTN. And one of them was the increase in the number of subscribers. They had a quite a big jump there of over 13% in the number of subscribers. And when you look at the figures concerning the subscribers as well as the people that are enrolling into MTN with their data bundles and different other products that the company is providing, there was indeed a very huge jump there at MTN Uganda. MTN Uganda is also currently looking at expanding in terms of their network, that is the 5G network, which is going to be eyed as a new opportunity for the company to make new money. For example, in the past quarter, they gained at least over a 13.3% increase in the number of subscribers, up to at least 19.9 million subscribers. They have also seen a data subscription rise of about 22.4%, up to 8.2 million people. And then in the last quarter as well, they witnessed a jump of over 10.1% to 12.1 million fintech subscribers as well. And service revenue also increased by 16.1% up to 2.6 trillion. A very significant jump there. So MTN really is on a course of success currently, and it's currently also on the exchange in the 4th position in terms of the most traded on stock. When we're looking at stock, we are also looking at how active the stock is on the market. And MTN currently is coming in the 4th place in terms of the most traded on stocks on the Uganda Stock Exchange over the past 3 months. MTN in this period has recorded 8.4 million shares valued at 1.4 billion over the period, with an average of about 133,365 shares that were traded per session, and a volume high of at least 3.69 million, which was achieved today. So, yes, today was a very significant day for the company, trading over 3.69 million. That's over 4 million shares at 170 shillings. It's quite significant. I don't know. We don't have the figures concerning the number of deals. I believe that deals are not that many. These are usually a couple of big investors who are trading big stock, and it is a challenge, yes, but it's also an opportunity for new traders who want to get into the market as well. Usually, these transactions occur from one account to another. It's not usually having a couple of accounts, maybe 1,000 people trading. No, I doubt on the Ugandan scene we do have such big figures, but we can make it happen. We can make it happen, and it's all up to us to make the market move, to make sure that we have at least a couple of people every single day that are buying and selling. That's how the market grows, if you and I get to participate. And that's why I bring the question to you tonight. Have you opened an SCD account? Have you opened a Security Central Depository account? Have you visited a stockbroker to find out more how you can benefit from the stock market in Uganda, how you can contribute to it? Have you been able to, in the past couple of days, also look at the stock market in other countries and how it is giving gains? Are you positioning yourself? Are you saving and investing? Those are questions you should be asking yourself. And probably you should also be looking out for your friends and cousins and brothers. If you're reading the market, are they still looking at getting to the same direction? That's the only way we're going to be able to grow our market. But also to the regulator and to the exchange, they have tried their best, but there's still room for better performance from them in terms of mobilization, in terms of information dissemination, to let people know and to get people aware of what's happening in the market. But the first thing is for you to be watching Smart 24 TV is a really great chance and opportunity for you, because this is a channel that is dedicated to financial markets presentations and also dedicated to educating you on how to get into the markets and how to separate different products and also get to balance your position in the market so you can be able to position yourself for gains. Okay, let's have a look at the other performers on the market. Elsewhere, looking at the bottom losers on the market, we had KCB Group, or Kenya Commercial Bank, at least lose about 1.89%, and this was down to 576.64 Ugandan shillings per share. And then Jubilee Holdings Limited stock, which traded at least a loss of 0.72%, down to 5,141.15 shillings. Now, looking at the movers here, Bank of Baroda Uganda traded the second. No, it was Umeme actually that traded the highest volume yesterday. Umeme traded over 9.3 million shares at 400 shillings. Remember, Umeme's concession with the Ugandan government is expiring this year. So we are going to be looking at a transition there from Umeme to probably Ugandan government, or whatever will happen. But Umeme is getting to move out. And we're seeing that translate into very big shares movements here on the stock exchange, with at least 9.3 of these traded today. Now, recording 9.3 million shares traded at 400 shillings, at least brought the total value of the traded amount of money to 3.74 billion Ugandan shillings. That is where I say, really, Uganda really has rich men and women. If in a single day there's a man out there or a fund manager who can trade 3.7 billion in terms of stock on a single day, my friend, that's it's a very tremendous movement and achievement as well for us here, the enthusiasts of the stock market. Now, this makes Umeme at least the third most traded on stock as well on the exchange in the past 3 months. Umeme within the period has recorded 13.5 million shares, with their highest being today's trading of 9.3 million shares. And the highest volume was achieved today. Yes, today was a very great day, I have to say. It was a great day. And we will remember definitely this day in the first quarter of 2024, where Umeme traded 9.34 million shares and MTN traded at least over 3.6 million shares as well on the market. Stanbic Bank traded just 15,000 shares, whereas Bank of Baroda traded 28,182 shares. Now, where does that leave the market turnover? The market turnover rose to as high as 4.3 billion Ugandan shillings in a single day. And also the current market capitalization of the exchange is at 17.2 trillion Ugandan shillings. A very significant gain there for the exchange. Now, regarding the performance of the USE market indices, the benchmark index, the OSHA index, climbed as well by 2.86 points up to an overall 931.50 points, representing a 1-week gain of 1.39% and a 4-week gain of 6.6%, and as well as an overall year-to-date gain of 6.76%. The USE Local Company Index also increased by 0.2% up to at least 266.13 points, making it a 1-week gain of 0.35% and a 4-week loss of 1.12% as well here, and a year-to-date loss of 2.1% as well. That's what we are looking at currently on the scale of the Uganda Securities Exchange. Well, that's it from the Uganda Securities Exchange. If you want to trade on the Uganda Securities Exchange, remember, all you need to do is simply open an account. This account is known as the SCD, or the Security Central Depository account. And this account will enable you, first of all, to trade. And it will enable you to reach out to a stockbroker, and that stockbroker will give you more information regarding on how you can be able to carry out your transaction. Different stockbrokers have different means of payment. Some have mobile money, some have allowances for bank accounts. You can use your bank account. Some have a few allowances for using the option of maybe transacting through your ATM and so on and so forth. So it's a really flexible and open system, and the USE has made it easy, as well as the Capital Markets Authority, to be able to access our market. Now let's have a look at Nairobi Securities Exchange real quick. Nairobi Securities Exchange saw over 46 equities participating in trade, with the day ending in 20 gainers and 16 losers. Fortunately, the day ended with 825 deals. However, compared with Friday, there was a 55% decline in the volume and a 45% decline in the turnover as well. The market in Nairobi at least saw 1.5 trillion market capitalization ending the day. And in aggregate, at least over 20 gainers were witnessed amongst the 46 equities that participated in trade. Now, Sasini Tea and Coffee led the gainers with a gain of 7.46%. Scan Group with a gain of 6.05%, and Britam Holdings came in with a strong gain as well of 5.96%, whereas Nation Media Group at least added 5.94% on their gain. On the losing side, Home Africa Group at least came out last with a 7.3% depreciation in price, whereas Equity Group Holdings recorded the highest volume with at least 3.86 million traded shares, and Safaricom at least also recorded 1.72 million shares, whereas Kenya Power recorded 261,000 shares, whereas Ken General Group at least also had 240,000 shares. Now, as per the performance of the indices, the benchmark index, the NSEO share index, moved up at least by 0.62 points to close at 95.52 points, representing a 1-week gain of 2.31% and a 4-week gain of 4.61%, and yet an overall year-to-date gain of 3.7%. Other remarkable indices that performed well were the NSE 10, at least at a 0.13% gain, and an NSE 20, which was at a 0.65% gain as well. The NSE 25 all share index as well appreciated 0.25%. Now, in a similar sense, when you look at Bamburi Cement this week, Bamburi investors are expecting a special dividend after the closure of a deal with Hima Cement. Now, Bamburi Cement sold off its entire stake in Uganda's subsidiary Hima Cement for an estimated $84 million, raising prospects of rewarding shareholders with a special dividend. Now, the Nairobi Securities Exchange firm said Thursday the sale of a 70% stake to a consortium of Sarai Group and Rimi Holdings was completed on the 5th of March last week, after it received all regulatory and shareholder approval. The completion of the deal injects the amount into Bamburi's books, that is $84 million, giving it room to pay a special dividend, subject to the capital allocation plan that are being reviewed by the board and management, as it was promised to shareholders through the circular that preceded the deal. The cement manufacturer will soon also announce its results for the year ended December 2023, and the prospect of a special payout has lifted Bamburi's share price from the current levels of 42.5 Kenyan shillings, that's approximately about $0.3, nearly to the 52-week high of at least 43.4 Kenyan shillings, which is about $0.31 recorded on Friday. Now, a special dividend will be a boost to Bamburi's investors, considering that the firm in July last year at least paid a dividend of 0.75 Kenyan shillings per ordinary share, amounting to 272 million Kenyan shillings, marking a 79% cut from the 3.75 Kenyan shillings per share that was recorded, or a total of about 1.3 billion Kenyan shillings that was recorded in the year prior. Now, the cut in dividend was on the back of Bamburi's net profit dropping by at least 86.9% to 181 million Kenyan shillings as sales reduced and the costs increased. The HIMA unit has historically had a limited dividend distribution record for shareholders, with the last two payments coming in 2023 and 2016. That's it from Bamburi Statement. Now, moving ahead to the United States stocks. The US stocks slipped on Monday on the heels of a losing week, with the Bitcoin soaring again as investors counted down to crucial inflation data that will test bets on interest rate cuts. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was slightly below the flat line, while the S&P 500 shed off at least 0.2%, and the Nasdaq Composite was down about 0.2% after a sharp decline in the tech industry stocks as well on Friday. Stocks have all faltered after the Feb's jobs report, which showed at least hiring remained strong even as unemployment beat estimates, and a mixed picture that added little uncertainty to the debate on rate cuts. Now, the market is bracing for a last big test, that is before the Federal Reserve's 20th March policy meeting. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in Smart 24 TV. My name is Anthony. Always tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We will be giving you the latest updates in the financial markets world. That's it from us tonight. See you later. Have a good night. Bye for now.